My name is Adnan Rahman. Okay, I've worked in the software development industry for it's been almost more than 10 years, since 2011. So I've worked as a automation QA. I've worked as a project manager, as a business analyst, as a scrum master, as a product owner. So multiple hats. I think I've worked in 10, no, 8 different places in the last 10 years. Okay, so I've been working with Techfios since 2015. All right. Um, It was under a different name that time. It was called Object Spy, and then it became Techfios in 2017. All right, and I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, so I'm from the East Coast as well. I moved here about 6 years ago, in 2014, 7 years. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much about me. I mean, um, so I think I'll go ahead and get started and tell you what we do. Okay, this won't take more than let's say 20 minutes. The rest will be mostly questions. Okay. And if you have any personal questions, save that till the end, because we're sharing the screen with other people. So if there's any questions, we'll just personal questions. We'll save them for. If you have any other questions related to the topic, just ask. Cut me off anytime and ask me. All right. So we do have multiple training locations. Okay, we have one in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and one here in Dallas, Texas area. We're HQ'd in New York. We have a location in Brooklyn, New York. That's where our headquarters are. So we offer live training, remotely or in person. Okay, so in person in Texas and Pennsylvania, and our goal is basically to get you a job, right? In what? In IT, right? There's a huge STEM gap today, meaning STEM is the field of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, right? For every job that's not related to STEM, for every job opening, there's 3.5 people applying. But for STEM jobs, for every 2 jobs out there, there's only one person applying. And IT is the one that's growing the fastest. Well, because the future is IT, right? Every company out there, they're transitioning their workflows, what they do on a daily basis, their processes to a more technical solution because it's more efficient, it's more cost effective, it's easier to manage and maintain, right? So they're going that route. For instance, just from a branding and customer loyalty perspective, right? When you go get gas today, that gas station has an app, right? Because they want to build their brand, they want to keep their customers coming. In exchange, they'll give you like, hey, after you buy X amount of gallons, we'll give you 5% off the gallon, or whatever, right? So that's building their brand. That's having them come back to you, and they want that. Same thing with if you go to Walmart or Whole Foods, they have an app. Easy to find the item. They'll tell you exactly what aisle it is in, or you know what, you can just order it right there, and they'll have it ready for you in the front, right? So they want to promote those kind of things, and and basically, maybe 10, 15 years ago, the most powerful thing we had in our pockets was a wallet and a credit card, but today it's your phone, right? Because it's capable of doing literally everything, from purchasing things to communication to the way we finance, right? Everything is done to the phone, and companies want to capitalize on that. So they have software teams that build these software, right? Now we do training for a couple of those roles. We do training for Java developers, for more advanced individuals, for more intermediate people. We offer DevOps engineering courses, and for beginners who really don't have a background in IT or wants to kind of work their way up, we offer automation QA classes. Okay, today is specifically for automation QA. All right, we'll talk about what an automation QA role is and what the goal for that role is. All right. If you want to join or interested in something else, you have to talk to the front and we'll schedule something. Um, so what is an automation QA, right? Well, first of all, let's just talk about what a QA is. Somebody who's a tester, right? You have these applications that get built, right? Before it goes out to be used by the end user, right? What's the end user? People like us, right? When you use your phone and you're using a specific app, you're the end user of that app, right? When you go to chase.com and you're logging into your account, or any banking.com, and you're logging into the account, you're the end user. You're the online banker, right? So you're an end user, somebody who's using that application. So anytime an application gets developed and gets sent out to the end user, before it gets sent out, somebody needs to test it. Make sure that not only that it works, I mean, everything works, right? But does it do what it's supposed to do? Okay? They want to make sure that it does what it's supposed to do. Because if it doesn't, then there are issues with it. There are defects with it, right? Because every software that gets built needs to meet some kind of compliance, some kind of standard. It needs to meet the requirements of the people who asked for the software, right? And it's the QA's job to make sure before this thing goes on, it's like having a checklist and saying, you know what? I made sure that this thing does exactly what it does. If it doesn't, then we have an issue that needs to get fixed, right? Any questions so far? Okay, cool. And obviously, companies do that because they want to increase their brand and reputation, right? That's really important to a company. For instance, a couple of years ago, we had Samsung phones, their Note line used to overheat and catch on fire. Have you guys heard about that? A couple of years ago. Okay, so a couple of years ago, Samsung they sell Note lines, and those phones used to overheat and catch on fire. Okay, and you know the reason that happens because they didn't do proper testing and they released the phone too early. And you know when they released it and this situation started happening, they lost 25 to 35% of their customer base Apple users. Okay, and they lost $2 billion in market share, right? Because well, it was a wiring issue they did, you know. But it's the same thing as testing. They didn't do proper testing, right? So because they didn't do proper testing, they lost a lot of money, right? Same thing for software, right? If let's say, do you guys do banking with any bank or you guys use? Sorry, what? Wells Fargo. So let's say you use Wells Fargo, right? And you log onto their account and you want to transfer money to somebody. Let's say you want to transfer money to me, and you want to transfer me $500, but instead $600 went through. Is that a problem? It's a problem, right? That's not what it should have done, and it did it, right? And software is very fragile, and it can do things like that, right? So in order to avoid these things from happening, and you guys facing those issues, it's a tester who comes in and makes sure these things never happens. Okay? Because what's going to happen if that happens? Well, first of all, you're going to be frustrated. You're going to call the bank. They'll obviously fix it, but that process of you having to call the bank, having it get fixed, is an annoyance, right? It's an inconvenience to you. And guess what? Maybe you don't want to use Wells Fargo just because of that. But hey, every time I send money, I want to deal with this issue. Maybe I should just go bank with Chase or bank with Bank of America, right? Or Citibank, right? So companies don't want to lose that kind of thing, right? Another thing why you test something is because it can avert life-threatening situation. Obviously, a year ago, like Boeing planes crashing and uh, you know, computer glitch, right? Simple computer glitch, and they could have found it. All they had to do was proper testing, but they didn't, right? And not only that, more than 500 people died, but also Boeing lost their stock prices. A lot of airlines wouldn't take their planes anymore. So a lot of things, the reputation and trust went down, right? So and obviously, I'm sure you guys know people who are in the field, or some people are recommending you to, go into training for IT. These positions, they make a lot of money, right? Why? Well, obviously they prevent financial loss and negative reputation, right? That's a given for the work responsibility. They save time and resources. But mainly, there's a lack of people in this country who are capable of doing this work. Like, let's be honest, most people are brought in from, India, right, to do the work. This is not rocket science, right? But they have to be brought in because people in this country don't go that route, right? They don't go into the STEM area. They don't get computer science degrees. They don't get Bachelor of Science degrees. They go to social science degrees like psychology, finance, business management, business administration, right? They go and pursue those kind of degrees, and they're kind of useless, right? And I'm not trying to insult anyone because I have a psychology degree, but they're not really what the demand for the job market is.
We have a psychology.
You did too? Okay, me too. So don't worry, I'm not. So
I used to long time.
yeah, well, and that's passion, right? And but passion doesn't pay. So so obviously that's why we're here, right? Because people don't pursue that. Well, there's still an option for you guys. We don't have to bring in the workforce from another country. You can actually train people here, right? So what do we do, right? Well, our whole curriculum is designed by people who work in the field today. Okay, And it was created by agile coaches, by developers, by automation engineers, by business analysts, people who actually work in the field. They created this curriculum based off what is going to be asked of you in an interview. Because the whole purpose of this course is to prep you and train you to pass an interview. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. And we offer remote classes for anywhere in the country, in person in the Texas and Philadelphia and Pennsylvania area, right? And all our sessions get recorded. So after you attend a class, that class gets recorded. So if anytime you need to rewatch it, you have the ability to do so. Or if you miss a class, you can go ahead and watch that class because it gets recorded.
You provide the access to that.
I will show you that, yes.
Our computer or
I'll show you how that works, okay? You learn through real life examples, right? This class is about, I would say, 80% practical, 20% theoretical, okay? So the first month is all theoretical, then it all goes hands-on practical stuff, okay? So you're gonna get real life experiences and what, basically the instructors are people who work in the field and they're gonna bring in what they do at work and how, show it to you so you guys are able to kind of mimic it and absorb that information and replicate it, okay? We try to hold your hand as much as possible, okay? This course is designed for beginners. We're under the assumption that you know nothing, and it's our goal to take you to 100%, okay? Once you are done with the course, we're gonna help you find a job, we're gonna prep your resumes, we're gonna help you with mock interviews, all right? And then once you do get a job, because of the way our business model works, it's really important that you keep your job because we're making money as you are working. So we only get paid when you get paid. Okay. Now, I'll quickly go over kind of when the classes are, how long are the classes, and etc. And the topics that we're going to cover. All right. So it says 4 month, 36 sessions. That's not accurate anymore. It's more like 5.5 months and 46 sessions. So there are 46 classes that you need to take. Each class is 5 hour long. Okay, so about 240 hours. All right. It's every Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 2, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. There are Wednesday optional classes that you can take to ask questions about the stuff that we talked about the previous day. And then you do get to take 2 free trial sessions. Right now, because of COVID, it's 4, so you'll take 4 classes before you commit to join. So you can take 4 free classes and then decide if you want to take this course or not. All right. You do learn some basic computer stuff. What is software, what is hardware, how does the command prompt works, what is shell scripting, some HTML scripting. I'm sure you guys don't know what XML or JSONs are, but they're for integration, how that works. You're gonna learn all those things. So it's basically to give you a basic introduction of what technology is, how it works, and etc. Okay. Then we go into the software development side of things, the theoretical side of how the industry works. What's your role? What are the roles of the people you're working with? Some basic definitions and terminologies, the types of tools and documents you're going to work with. And then you also get introduced to some form of testing, which is manual testing. How does manual testing work? Not a lot of it, probably only less than 20 hours of it. It's basically to tell you what is manual testing, how to do formal testing, how to approach a testing, how to analyze it, and figure out the best way to test something. Okay. Once that's done, things start getting technical. So this is where more hands-on stuff coming in. So you're going to learn SQL. Okay. It's about 25 hours of SQL classes, basically you're going to learn how to do data validation. But this is where things are technical. You're going to learn how to do some form of scripting command language. All right. SQL. SQL. Okay, so it's basically a language where you write commands and it pulls up data from you for a database. Okay, so everything that we have today, it gets stored in a database, right? All the information. Somebody needs to verify if the information was saved properly or not, right? So it's your job to pull up that information and say, hey, when I entered my first name, what's your first name? Mahesh. When I typed in Mahesh and I check in the database, does it save as Mahesh or not, right? So that's what you're checking, okay?
ID checking.
I wouldn't say ID. I would say data checking. So it's just, so let's say you have a form, right? You're filling out a form. Let's say you're filling out a form for a credit card, right? So you entered your first name, last name, date of birth, social security, address, right? And you submitted that information. So in the software, it looks like everything works, right? But that information, when you submit it, it needs to get saved and stored somewhere, right? So it gets saved and stored on a database, right? For future use, reference, whatever, right? So somebody needs to check, hey, when I entered this information and I hit the submit button and it went to the database, did that information go to the database or not, right? Somebody needs to check that. And that's a QA's job to check. Okay? So you're gonna, I mean, it sounds a little complicated now, but once you take the class, it'll make more sense. But basically, all your job is to check. So you're not learning, like programming skills for data. You're not gonna build databases and link databases and put logic into databases. All you're gonna do is check that information in the database. Okay? Then things get more technical. You are gonna learn Java. Okay? It's a programming language. You're going to learn from a scripting side of it. You're going to learn about 40% of what a Java developer knows. Okay? And the Java class, it's about, you're going to have, I would say, 40 hours of Java classes. Okay? So 40 to 50 hours of Java classes. Then you're going to use Java with a tool called Selenium. This is where the word automation kicks in, right? Selenium is an automation tool. It basically allows you to create scripts where you're going to tell the computer to test the software for you. Okay? So you guys are going to learn Java, use Java with Selenium, and that's going to allow you to tell the computer to test the software for you. Okay? That's what automation means. That's what automation QA means. Okay? So, and that's about the Selenium classes. There's about 70 to 80 hours. Okay? Just the Selenium classes. So about 100 hours of Java and Selenium. All right? A little more than 100. Okay? Any questions so far?
How many hours you said how many hours per course you think?
A little more than 240 hours? Yeah.
So, uh, when you are testing, and when we were doing the class before last year,
Uh,
the guy he used to teach us, we started with it's very, it was AL.
ALM? Yeah, that's a project management tool. So, I mean, manual testing, look, there's only maybe 20 hours of manual testing, right? 4 classes. We don't really focus on manual testing because there aren't that many jobs out there for manual testing. Okay? So we're going the more technical route because that's the future of the industry, right? So I wouldn't recommend to think that, I mean, just think about our class, right? Bulk of it, 4 classes on manual testing, 26 on automation, right? There's a reason why, right? So I would say, you need to think about it from that angle, that manual testing is not really the future. And it's really hard to find jobs in manual testing, so it's not really worth, pursuing. Does that make sense?
Even skill wise, it's difficult to learn this Java.
So, I mean, there is no. So your question is, from a skill perspective, is it difficult to learn Java, right?
I mean,
Is it? I mean, was it difficult to learn psychology? Yeah, right. I mean, anything that's new, it's difficult to learn, right? It's kind of on you on how much time you're going to spend practicing it, right? So a lot of the things we're going to teach you is not from a theoretical side. It's kind of, hey, this is how you do this. Do step 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and this will work. You need to learn how to do that. You need to memorize that. You need to keep it in your head. So it requires a lot of studying, this course. In my opinion, a monkey can do this work, right? But remember, monkey see, monkey do, right? So you're going to see the instructors, and you're going to do what they do, right? That's what's required, and it's a lot of studying, I would say. I was getting to that, but basically, once you're done with the course, we're going to assess you to see if you're able to get a job or not, help build your resume, prep you with mock interviews, help you in the job search, and if there's any reference or job verification needed, we'll help you with that as well. All right. Now, how to be successful in this course? This is where what your question comes in. Is it difficult or not? I did it. I have a psychology background. I didn't know anything about IT like that, but I can pull it off. Most of your classmates have no background at all. The hard part about this is the time. You have to study every single day for the next 5.5 months if you're going to take this course. If you're somebody who's really good in school, academic, good background, you maybe need 1 hour a day, maybe two. If you're somebody like me who needs constant coffee breaks, like every 5 minutes I need to get up, I get distracted easily, you got to put 3 to 4 hours a day. If you're not able to do that, this course is not for you. You're not going to be able to do well. Okay? It's a lot of work, a lot of studying, a lot of hours that need to get put in. We're going to give you about, with the 240 hours of class time plus additional time, around 270, 280 hours you're going to get from our end. You need to give back 500 hours if you want to be successful. Okay? And I'll say right now, if you can't give back $500, don't bother taking the class. We're not going to be able to help you. At the end of the day, you'll get nothing out of it. It is just straight study. It's like, I'm sure you guys went to college. It's like going to college full-time classes and you have to get B+ in all the classes. Not lower than B+. Oh, that's kind of easy, actually. I also need to get A in all the classes, So, that's a must.
So Java and Selenium
Mhm.
is definition, right?
Correct. Yes.
So if I want to do only just manual, I understand you said manual is more much in the market. But
Mhm.
if I want to do only just manual because I don't have any experience.
Well, you're going to have experience after taking this class.
Yeah, I know. But if I want to do only just manual, can
So,
I do it or?
5% of the job market is manual, and the competition is high. Do we get people who get a manual job? Yeah. I think last year 3 people did out of 66. So you do the math, right? So last year we hired about 66 people. 3 people got a manual job. So is it worth it?
And money wise, for let's say once we get a job, she gets a money on your progress of that.
Hmm.
I get other advance free
Automation.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the money wise difference?
The pay range.
Pay.
So usually a manual at most makes 80,000, and at least makes around 50 to 60.
That's right.
50 to 60,000. Automation, yeah, for manual. For automation, at least they make 80 minimum. They'll make 80,000. Like starting salary is 80,000, and at most they can get to 150, 160,000. Okay.
And, so this Java-based job has more, right? You said
And there are more jobs, more opportunities, less competition.
in this area.
So Dallas is pretty big. It's doing really well. It was growing, but it kind of slowed down because of COVID. But right now, it doesn't matter what the area is. Everybody's working remotely. So even if you get a job in New York, it's okay. You can work remotely. Like we have a student that's in Pennsylvania, and she got a job here in Dallas, but she's working from Pennsylvania. And just recently, she got it. So, um, that's I don't think that's a concern anymore because of COVID. But Dallas is a hot market. There's lots of jobs in Dallas, so it's not an issue. Okay.
Because we cannot really go to remote location with the kids, with the family.
Yeah, you mean when I say remote, I mean working from home.
Right? And, that I think we can.
Of course you can. I hope you can. Everybody's working that way right now, so nothing's open back.
We worked in Delaware for IT at that time.
Oh, nice.
Both worked there.
Okay.
We had to go there because we were
It's a warehouse.
Yeah,
So we had to go
gotcha. I mean, Delaware area has a lot of jobs in IT too, because the Washington area, they have a lot of
I had
jobs.
a job, they had a parents work by the time we we came to know about all this field and
Hmm.
made a friends and actually friends of it told us to start this.
Yeah.
In India, we did some computer classes before coming to here. Right?
Hmm.
People goes to computer institute for 3 months course, 4 months. They both did just basic computer. We know it, but we never got a chance to work here. Then a
Gotcha.
friend of ours, he is a Delhi. He did testing, but then but he said we do this. So we started in Philippines, and we found us the previous guy
Hmm.
who his office was in New Jersey. The guy then started taking the course. Five, right? 6 months we started making drama, everything able to do CEO face or other
I
like
got you.
film making.
Yeah.
And then seventh one we waited for hour and a half. We came like last 10 minutes and oh I had something accident and going to then suddenly never came, never replied our question. We used to send in question. What we, and we did a lot of work. Right? We were very serious, but
Now I understand that happened. We have a lot of people that
so
takes it like
he
that and
simply
comes to
walked
us.
away. And by the time we had to come over here, so
Hmm.
we said just stop and we will start again. Yeah, we don't want to. I mean, we heard about automation testing, but we were told by the friend that first focus on the manual,
Hmm.
and then you get a job, and then you can learn
Well,
automation.
that would have worked easily maybe 7 years ago, 10 years ago,
Okay.
but now it's not. It's harder. I. So look, I've been doing this with Techfios since 2015. It's almost 6 years now, and I can tell you that the industry is shifting, right? Those. Why do I need a manual tester? It's not really important, right? And it's a numbers game, right? Life is a numbers game. So, people coming into uh, with tech files trying to get trained, it's a numbers game for us. And based off those numbers, I can tell you that people who get a job are people who has time to study. And then, when you guys do go to the market, there's only a certain level of availability, right? Now, do you want to bet your chances for 5 to 10% of the market, or do you want to bet your chances for 90% of the market, right? So 90% of the market requires that you need to know automation, right? So obviously there's still jobs there, but it's 10%. So do you want to spend studying for all those hours, putting all that effort in, to kind of base it off luck, right? So that's what I would say. So what we did is that before, when we used to train, it was like almost like 40% manual, and then 60% uh, automation. That's how we used to train. Now it's like maybe we do like maybe 5% of training for manual. Like bulk of the classes is all automation because that's where the market is shifting. And you can do it. Don't think that you need to learn manual or you need to have experience in manual to do automation. You don't need to do that. I can guarantee you that. Okay, that's not. You can ask everybody that comes in and gets a job through us. They have no background in IT. They never even know what manual testing was before they started doing this. Okay.
So that was actually I think I'm kind of trying to come in that level that
Oh yeah, you're gonna go in with as a senior level individual.
no, what
Okay.
I'm saying is if I know manual testing,
Uh huh.
then I know automation better, right? Is that
Yeah,
right or
sure.
wrong?
It'll take you maybe 2 days to learn manual testing.
Okay, okay. So you will give us that information, right? Not, I
Well,
mean,
you're gonna get about 20 hours of manual testing.
I don't want to thrown away like suddenly like very and then I rename
Yeah, of
something
course.
like that.
Well, like I said, you learn manual testing here. So if you look at the screen, this is manual testing. All this is about manual testing. But again, it's not a lot of classes, right? But here, then when you go to automation, that's where the bulk of the work is. Okay. So you need a PC. Okay. i7 16 gig would be nice. A minimum i5 8 gigs. Obviously, you need internet connection. You need a phone. Okay, very important. Uh, Software tools, we'll give it to you guys. Dedicated time, obviously, you need to give your time. And if you're gonna take this class from home, make sure you're in a quiet room. All right. Um,
What was that about that,
you do need a laptop with minimum i5 8 gig, but preferable would be i7 16 gig.
okay, I think so we don't have to buy the new laptop, right?
Mm.
Yeah. Storage, storage,
What do you mean for SSD preferred?
SSD is a type of hard drive. It's preferred. You don't have to have it. It just makes your computer work
we
faster.
have a laptop, but
Yeah.
we don't know.
Well, just come in, show it to the front desk. They'll let you know if it's gonna work or not. Okay.
What look at it, what about 15, 16 something?
Well, we can check and we'll see. Okay.
And is a lifetime access if you like?
What do you mean by lifetime access?
Um,
I'll break all that down. Give me a sec. Yeah. So what's our end goal, guys? Learn the skills you need to get a job, make connections with recruiters, vendors, our staffing company, get your dream job, obviously, right? Hopefully, and make money, right? When I first started, before I started, I used to make less than $50,000 a year. After I took a course, I got a job. Um, I tripled my income. Okay, my first job. So, but again, it's not easy. It's a lot of work. There's no hope. I'll tell you right now. If you're gonna take this course based off hope, don't take it. It's a lot of work, a lot of studying, a lot of effort, a lot of sacrificing. So you need to wake up to this. You need to sleep to this. You need to eat to this. You need to talk to this every day. This is all it has to be if you want to be successful. Okay, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you right now that you know before the course even finishes, 60% people drop out because they can't handle it. Okay, and most of the people they can't handle it is because of time. Okay, it's the time. It's a lot of studying, a lot. Okay, 4 hours a day doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're actually doing it, it's a lot. All right.
We know that working 40 hours take a 10 weeks.
Exactly right. So when you're working 40 hours a week, you got to watch your kids, you got to feed your kids, you got to give time to your kids, you got to give time to yourself. What time you have left, right? That's the hardest part for this course. Okay? I'll tell you right now, people, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, so don't take it the wrong way, but like our success rate with people who are under 35 is around 90%. Why? Because somebody's paying their mortgage, somebody's paying for their phone bill, somebody's paying for their car insurance and all their bills. Somebody's making sure they get food every day. So they have the time to study. For people who are usually over 35 to 50 to 60, the hardest part is, hey, I got to go pick up my son from school today. I got to make sure that I'm working or I can't pay for the phone bill or I'm not going to have any electricity tomorrow. Those types of individuals, they have the success rate is around 50%. Okay, why? Because of the time. Yeah, because they have other commitments, right? And I can't tell you what's important or what's not, right? That I unfortunately I can't. I would say yeah, take this, but I can't tell you yeah, don't eat for the next week, and we'll focus on this, right? So, and everything kind of gets done through online. Okay, so I could show you guys that quickly. So the way we communicate, it's all through our chatting platform. Okay, so we have a chatting platform that you guys will get access to. And over there, that's where you'll communicate with us, the instructors, with your other classmates. Everybody's there. We're pretty transparent. Okay. So, for instance, this was the February batch. There's about 47 people there. You guys are going to be part of the April batch if you join. Before February, it was January. Okay. And over here, people submit their homeworks, their assignments. Everything just gets done here in the platform. All right. Um, And okay, so now let's talk about cost, how we work. Okay, let's go to techfios.com. And also, the way you would join the classes, it gets done through online as well. Okay, so let's say you want to attend the class. If you're not doing it in person, you just go to our website. Okay, so you go to our website, and these are the classes. All the classes are going to be available for you based off your access level. You hit the join now button, it'll take you to the class. There's a calendar there too. My calendar is going to be blank because I am an instructor, so it won't really show everything. Oh, it does show some stuff, like the classes I'm teaching in March, and then it'll show the classes I'm going to teach in April. So everything's kind of in the calendar for when your classes are going to be. So for instance, you guys are going to join April 17th. So there we go. April 17th trial class. That's going to be you guys, and I'm going to be teaching it because it's on my calendar. So you basically join them through this portal. If you want to watch a video, it's all in the portal. Okay. So for instance, if I want to see the video for these classes, it's all here, and I can click on the video link and watch it. Okay. You're going to use the community section for downloading softwares and getting access to like documents, interview questions, and stuff like that. So everything's kind of done digitally. Okay, nothing happens hard paper. All right, and we keep. Yeah, you can do it from your computers. Okay, and also I'm not an instructor, but everything, like if you guys have any issues, there's a support button here. You'll see, and that's where you'll open a ticket to say, you know what, hey, my computer's not working, or I have an issue, or whatever. It all gets done kind of digitally. Okay. Obviously, you can call the office if you do need additional help. Um, so, and the way our payment works, okay, even register, you have to do it through online. Okay. So this is for automation QA, right? Um, so obviously you offer, you get a free trial. It says 2 classes, but because of COVID, they're going to give you 4. After they give you, just ask them to extend it, and they will. And you register through here to get a free trial. No, contract, no nothing. You just try it, and you could come in and do it as well. All right. And now the way we work. So there's 2 payments you need to make. One is the registration. Okay. The cost of the registration is $1,200. All right. That registration, you have to pay for it upfront. That registration, you can pay 2 ways. Either you can pay monthly by $300 a month, okay, for 4 months, right? So every month while you're taking the class, you're paying $300 a month, all right? So that's one way of paying, or you could pay the registration payment in full, in one payment. Pay in one payment, you get a $200 discount, so you'll pay $1,000, okay? So that's the registration. Now you're getting more than 270 hours from us, so there's a tuition fee, okay? The cost of the tuition fee is $10,000, okay? But you only pay for that $10,000 after you take the course and after you get a job. And every month while you're working, you're gonna pay 8 installments of the $10,000. So every month you're working, you're gonna pay around $1,250. Okay? $1,250 sounds like a lot, but you're gonna get paid around minimum $6,000 to $7,000 a month. Okay? Because you're not gonna make under $80,000. All right? Question?
That's the fee, tuition fee.
Huh?
You pay $10,000 in each part, right?
8 months, yes. 8 installments.
And that is after you get a job.
Correct. After you get a job. Okay?
That is after you get a job.
Well, everywhere else they take the money up front. Okay? The reason why we don't is because I'll tell you right now. Every other place that does exactly what we do, the same kind of deal, one place hub option, they charge around $4,000 upfront. Their registration fee is like $4,000, and then they collect their tuition fee around $5,000. So they charge kind of the same amount of us, but they take almost half the money upfront. The reason why we charge less, frankly, because if you meet us, all the instructors here are people like me who right after college took this course. We didn't have $4,000 to take the course. The only reason I was able to take the course because I asked my father and he gave me $4,000. But most people I know don't have a father like mine, you know. So because of that, we know that people have the ability to learn this stuff because we learned it. You know, you'll see one of the other instructors. He used to run a print store. You know, you'll see another instructor. He just came from another country, and he learned it in 2 months. Right? He didn't have $4,000 to take this course. Right? So we know what the deal is. So we know that hey, look, the tuition fee people can't afford it. So we're putting it as the industry term is called an ISA, income shared agreement. That hey, you'll only pay for it if you get employed. Okay? So if you find a job, whether you get it through us, it doesn't matter. You get a job, you're liable for the pay. A job in IT, not any job. So if you go work in, the bank as a personal banker, you don't owe us anything, right? If you get a job in IT, then you owe us for that $10,000. Okay?
So you don't help us to find a job.
No, we do. Of course we do. But I'm saying that we don't restrict any avenues on how you can get that job. Because we're gonna have you directly apply. We're gonna have our staffing company apply for you, and we're gonna have recruiters calling you as well. So whichever comes first, we go that way.
I mean, that is a, I will be very honest.
Mhm.
That is a question. Help do you need?
No, that's not. That's the easiest part. Trust me. That's not the hard part.
Find a job?
Yeah, the hard part is learning the stuff. Trust me.
We will
Trust
go
me.
that way because,
Finding the job is not hard. Knowing the material is hard. Okay. You know the material, you'll get a job. Okay. It's as simple as that. So, the avenues are endless. You learning the information is the hardest part out there. All right. So that's what we're doing. We're training you, and we're agreeing that hey, we'll train you. We're charging you, but we're not going to collect anything, and you'll only owe us the funds if you get a job. Okay.
we don't want to just get a trained and the see how much time and that. The purpose of getting this training is to find a job in the same field, right?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
What I'm saying is that like we are taking this training
Uh-huh.
class
Yeah.
to get a job into the same field.
Yes.
But right now, I mean, once we came from Belarus, we both work in
Yeah. Huh?
So we just started.
Yeah.
But we knew that we want to complete this one. So
Yeah.
just right now we survive.
Yeah.
It's all right. But the thing is that yeah, we don't want to learn this and still keep working at the government. We want to move.
Correct. So what do you think our intention is?
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you just bluntly, but don't take it the wrong way, right? What do you think our intention is?
Well, when we need some help, what I'm trying to say is to
So
place
no,
us-
no, I know, but just step back for a sec, right? And think about uh, how our business model works. When do you think we make money?
Yeah, when we get more money, then
When do you think though? When do you think the company makes money? After you get a job, right? So our business model requires us to make sure. Because here's the thing: if you look at our competitors, right, they charge 4,000 upfront. If they have 10 people in the room and they got none of them a job, they made $40,000. If I have 10 people in the room and I got none of you guys a job, I made $10,000. Who has the best business? They do, right? So for them, it doesn't matter whether you get a job or not. For us, for Techfios, we need to make sure we get you a job because we want the $10,000, right? The company wants the $10,000. That's how the company is profitable, right? And so we're geared to make sure that first of all, I already broke down to you how much you need to study, how much effort you need to put in, and the reason why we tell you that is because we don't want you to join unless you know you're going to be able to pull it off. Because we don't know if you're going to be able to pull it off, right? It's going to be on you, right? So at the end of the day, the only way, you already know what the conditions are, what the prerequisites are, the effort that you need to put in. And we're going to build you the road. Okay, we're going to pave the road for you. We're going to put up all the signs, which direction to go. We're going to even build you the car. But at the end of the day, you need to learn how to drive. You need to drive the car. Okay? So the reason why I think you got a little confused on the part about the job part, right? The way we train you guys, you can get a job by yourself. You can get a job through us. You can get a job through recruiters. We don't care. Our goal, as soon as you're done with this course and you're ready to go get a job, we're gonna present all those options for you. We're gonna attack all those options, and you're gonna get to decide which option you want to go. We don't force you to pick one. Because like a lot of other places, they say no, you have to go through our recruitment company because they take money off your paycheck every month. We don't do that. You know, I think that's where I think we got a little confused here. So our goal is we make sure you're a candidate who's been molded and capable of passing an interview. That's what we make you ready for. And then once you go to the market, we have a recruitment company that goes and applies for you every day. At the same time, you're gonna have other recruiters call you. At the same time, we're gonna have you apply directly to companies as well. Okay? So there are plenty of jobs out there. The point is that people are not capable of doing the work. So when I told you that 60% of the people that drop out, right? They've gone. There's 40% left. Their success rate of getting a job is around 95%.
Because they're committed to
Because they learn the material. Yeah, simple as that.
After we get job, is full-time job we get?
So good question. So after you get a job, what kind of jobs out there? Are there full-time jobs, contract jobs? It's about 50-50. About 50% of the market is contract, 50% of the market is full-time. Um, this is America, so there's nothing really full-time. So even if you get a full-time job, they can fire you anytime. The only difference is, you wouldn't want a short-term contract, but most contracts are around a year. Huh?
full time is getting it.
Yeah, you get insurance. Well, even with contracts, you get insurance. It just ends up costing a little more. Yeah. So, but they pay you more though. The contracts pay you more money. So, for instance, if you get a full-time job, let's say it's an $80,000 job, right? For the same job, if it was a contract, they would pay you around 55 dollars an hour. So that's around 100,000. But obviously, they don't give you the benefits and the other stuff. So there's an exchange. There's usually a 15 to 20% salary exchange for doing that. Okay. I would say that you have to understand that when you're in a, let's say, so this is a different tier of work. It means you're in a different level. You're in a professional level, right? You're in a higher tier. When you're in a higher tier, you have to understand that turnover is more because it's based off your skill, based off your delivery. So people like when I introduced I told you that in the last 10 years I worked in 8 different places, right? There's a reason why, not because you know it was contracts or because I was laid off, is because I have a different skill set. When I have a different skill set, I need to move, right? I need to go change my job. I shouldn't be sitting in one place, right? Because I want to learn new stuff. I want to try out new stuff, and I want to also show what I learned to other people, right? So, like for instance, an average CEO in any company is 2 to 3 years. That's the turnover rate for an average CEO, right? Because they want new CEOs every tier. It's a different tier, right? It's a different level of job. So you don't want the same person working there forever. So same thing kind of works in IT. These are high paid skilled jobs. So they want turnover. They like turnover. They like shifting their teams because they want to bring in new ideas and everything. And if you want to work somewhere forever, a cashier job in Walmart is forever, right? Because it doesn't require high skilled work, right? So the turnover is less. But anytime you're in a high skilled, high salary kind of position, there's always high turnover. You have to understand that and be okay with that, because that's just the reality of it in the United States. Okay? Because they don't want you sitting there and because you get comfortable, you get unproductive when you sit there. So they're always switching people around. That's just the normal way. Okay? So at the end of the day, whether it's full time or contract, it doesn't matter. We're never going to tell you which one you have to take. It's up to you. We usually base it off, who pays you the most and, who's going to give you the best benefits. That's what we all usually gauge them on. But, at the end of the day, if you want to take a contract, you can take contract. If you want to take a full time, you take a full time. It's, again, with us, it's whatever comes first and makes you happy. Okay?
So now I think when I talk with Mr. Bharat,
Mhm.
Bharat,
One.
last week he said you were only one number. Now I think you changed and now you also class.
Correct. Let me just end this call for us, okay? So we can talk personal now. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Let's